one thing that I struggle with is, on that org, that whole org side of the org design and org structure and how you link the two is that's always been a bit of a black hole for me of, you know, I- if you asked me today to how, to go and connect those, I wouldn't be able to do it.
Yeah.
Now I
Yeah.
know Rejuvi has found a way to do it.
Yeah.
But I think that whole, silo approach of the two sides, we all, well, I shouldn't say we all, me, I'll speak for me. You get your blinders on, and your day in and day out is what,
Yeah.
is most critical most days. And then, then it's then you're trying to layer in, then, okay, how do we get more strategic? How do we get more aligned on what the business growth should look like on the business development side? And that typically that's always taking a back seat to,
Right.
dealing what's right in front of you today.
Right. Yeah. And listen, my journey, Rob, has been the same, like blinders on. I wish somebody connected those two for me too in my career, right? And perfect segue. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to, as we're beginning to do at these Rejuvi 45 sessions, is I'm going to bring up the Rejuvi platform, and we're going to look at three reports that we generate for the benefit of leaders that have been, that receive the Rejuvi, leader development, business growth, methodology, if you may. And that's exactly what the model is, right? The model is basically saying there is a leader rhythm, and that leader rhythm is think to drive. So we know and understand that excellent leaders think and drive in specific ways, right? And this is what a leader sees, what a leader knows, and what a leader does. So that's the leader rhythm. But then there's also this recognition, very explicit recognition, that the business has a rhythm too. And that's referred to as the build to sustain. So every business goes through cycles of building itself and sustaining itself, right? And if you think about it, there are specific business practices that need to be honed within those two dimensions, right? Which are building and sustaining to building. So the idea that Rejuvi had and developed this insight intelligence platform that that we have a patent on was to combine those two things: the think to drive and the build to sustain. So we're going to look at those reports that tell a leader, a individual leader, in this case it's an example, but a individual leader, what are the areas of focus that they need to have, and we can layer that up to the organizational. So let me just share my screen real quick, and we'll go through this. So for those who are joining now or watching this, this recording, you all know that this is kind of the gateway to our platform, right? It's the Rejuvi Venture, it's the Rejuvi Venture Inc. At rejuviventure.com, and then you can log into the platform. And when you log into the platform, you have login credentials. You will come to the administrator landing page, and I'll go straight to the, I'll just go straight to the resources to go in the interest of time, which really houses some very specific, high value, resources for organizations and leaders to leverage in their leadership journey based on how Rejuvi would provide that support. So let's go to an area of trusted partners. Pull up, and we'll go to individual reporting, and we'll pull up a sample report. We'll take Rejuvi Lead, and this again, more detail than necessary here, but this is the whole. Let's teach and support the entire leadership bench, right? This is executive leaders, this is sales leaders and sales territories, this is Rejuvi Service, and this is Rejuvi Team for service and team leaders, right? But let's go into Rejuvi Lead for a second, and I'll pull up this report. And this is a report that we generate, and it's basically a report generated on, soliciting about 1,000 plus data points per leader, right? So it's information that's gathered for a leader, and we do that. And Charlie, you said quickly and efficiently. Well, guess what? This report, if all reviewers are lined up, can be generated in 10 minutes or less, right? So that we can start working with the leaders. So we'll go to a specific report, the one, Rob, that I think might kind of, lay some layer in. So it's basically what we call the Think to Drive tour. Remember I said we kind of recognize that the leader has a rhythm, And what you see on the screen here is this is a sample again, but this is a profile of a leader who has a bunch of greens in kind of, what they as an excellent leader see. But they have a lot of opportunity to be worked with in areas that we would call their excellence of what they know as a leader and what they do as a leader. So we would focus in there. But guess what? It's not enough just to have this piece. When we actually go now to the what we call the capacity, the capacity heat map, this is a overview of what the organizational, the capability capacity of this leader to drive the organization, right, across these four buckets. Once again, this would tell us that there is an opportunity in this quadrant, and this quadrant is, again, helping this leader not only improve what they know and what they do, but also what they target inside of the organization, right? What is the right work? How better, how do you bring others along, etc. And frankly, the way that it kind of delves into the whole, conversation here is then we have the build to sustain tour. So again, what we're doing, these are very specific reports. There's a ton of data we produce and we work with leaders. But I just wanted to give an example, Rob. I don't know if this is ringing any bells, but think about this, where we now have the ability to bring a leader into a leader development program, and we are evaluating that leader, and all of a sudden we're teaching the leader not only how to improve what they see, know, and do, but also drive how they build and sustain their business, right? And so we have this, and it's quick, it's efficient, it's continuous. I'm gonna stop sharing to come back because there are a couple other quick things I wanted to cover before we wrap up.
Yeah,
So
just
any
real,
thoughts on that?
yeah. That's amazing. Short, to be succinct.